Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. We're certainly glad to have you today. And as always, you can view these programs on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's cable channel 18. And today we have with us Jeff Harrell. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And he's with United Real Estate. And Jeff, first of all, it's good to have you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And what I'd like to do first is get a little background on you so people can get to know you and know who you are.
Sure. Well, I'm a Chattanooga boy, pretty much, from birth. And my wife and I had actually been in real estate for 20 years. And I was actually operating partner for a franchise company called Keller Williams. It was a great company for 8 years and was with them for 18 years. And my wife and I, one day, we're up here on Henson Gap, just kind of taking an afternoon stroll.
Yeah.
And we saw some land with a friend of ours, and I said, let's check it out. So we checked it out, fell in love with it, had a 2-acre pond in the back with no fish in it yet, but anyways, we took care of that.
Yeah.
And just fell in love with it. And I said, well, we'll buy the land now, and we'll build up here in 10 years so we can retire here.
Yeah.
I think it took 3 to 4 weeks. And we looked at each other and said, I want to live up there now.
Yeah.
We actually looked up here when the golf course was being built and selling their first lots years ago, Mount Airy. And I said, I can't pay no $17,000 for a lot. Yeah. I wish I'd have bought it.
Yeah.
But anyways, we built about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now. We've been moved in since December of 23.
Oh, okay.
And we just fell in love with the area, have lots of friends here, and that go to church with us, and we love it. That's a little bit of history. I've been married 37 years, 2 daughters, 4 grandkids, and I have no intentions of retiring anytime soon.
Yeah.
But real estate is my career path. Mentoring and encouraging children is my passion.
Well, how did you get started in real estate?
Yeah, well, interesting question. Most people say it's because I love to serve people, and that is true. I do love to serve people, but my story was a little different. I was with a company. I was vice president of an appliance company, local company in Chattanooga, and found out a great guy that owned it just got some really bad information, and economics had changed, and they had to close that store down.
Oh.
Well, God had blessed me with a really nice income. We had just bought a new house, put both my kids in school, and that news of the job change came in. And my wife looked at me and said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Yeah. And I said, I don't know, pray. Just pray a lot. And I had done business with builders for years. I had supplied their appliances for new construction.
Right.
And I remember them, some of them loved realtors, some of them hate realtors. It's like the used car business. Some they love, some they don't. And but anyways, I had a really, really good relationship with all those builders. And I remember them saying words like, that realtor's just a sign in the yard. And I took that phrase and I turned it around. And I came home and I said, I'm going to do real estate. And the guy that had hired me for my present job as VP of the appliance company, he was just a class act. And he actually paid me my full-time salary as I helped them transition into another store and allowed me to get my real estate license.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so anyways, I hooked up with all those builders. I love the smell of sheetrock anyway.
Yeah.
You give me a new construction house, I'm on point. And that's how I got my business started. That was 20 years ago. And I stayed in that for about a year and a half. And then I opened up with a lot of other very talented individuals. We opened up our first Keller Williams franchise. And then the story's on for them.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's super. Well, of course, I deal with a lot of realtors here locally.
Sure.
And, they're very active. I mean, they don't just sit in an office and wait for somebody to come in.
Right.
You're sitting on your computer researching things. You're making sure that you don't have to have flood insurance, or if you do, or there's all kind of things that realtors do on the backside.
Oh, yeah.
So when they have a customer come in and say, I want this, you say, well, okay, but let me let you know something.
Yep.
And so it's important. It's a big job.
Yeah. We're advocates for the client. I mean, that's our job is to protect them, negotiate for them, and make sure that home is exactly what they think they're buying.
Right, because I know I've had friends, and they'll tell me, says, well, we go around, we check their central units, see how old they are, make sure that they're not near death, and they'll have to wake up and buy a new
Right.
unit, right off the bat.
Right.
And other things like that. People don't. I guess it's a lot of new homeowners, young people. They don't realize all those things that go into, getting someone to check the house.
Right.
Building inspector and make sure check for all the little things
Right. Right.
that a normal person wouldn't catch.
Yeah.
You just say, hey, I like this. This looks nice. Hey, let's get it.
Certainly.
So that's where you come in and do all your research and help the client.
Absolutely. I've really started loving it and embracing land. I sell a lot of land now.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, your realtors are awesome to work with. I am getting my feet wet here, and it's been a great deal. One of my passions is new home buyers.
Uh-huh.
The first time, because I remember when we first bought our home and how nervous. I didn't have any money in the bank. I did 100% FHA loan.
Yeah.
That was what was available at a better interest rate than today. But it's coming down. It's going to come down. But I have a passion for those guys because I know the wallet is not always thick at that moment.
Right.
Actually, for every new home buyer, I buy them an extended warranty for a full year.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's at my expense, and that takes a weight off of them for that first year to know if the roof leaks or the appliance dies, that's taken care of.
Well, that's nice.
Oh, they love it. They love
Yeah.
it. Absolutely.
Well, that gets into developing friendships.
Right.
And where they don't look at you as just someone that's after their money.
Right.
Someone that does care for them and is looking after their best interest.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. The real estate market as a whole is not incredible at forming win-wins. It needs to win on both sides.
Uh-huh.
I don't need to go home a wealthy man and then you go home with a house that you really didn't want.
Right.
That's our job. That's our job.
Right. And a lot of times someone may see a house they really like, but when it comes down to it, can they really afford it?
Yeah.
You have to, I know sometimes you have to ask those personal questions like, well, how much money do you make? And how much, you have to make sure they can afford the house they want.
Right, right. Well, I'm a praying man, and most of my clients are of similar faith. I mean, I serve everyone absolutely 100% the same way. But sometimes I'll get to pray with a young couple, and I'll see them stressing out. And I'm like, this payment's $2,300 a month, guys. You're paying $800 a month in rent. Do you feel good about that? I think it's our job to ask a ton of questions.
Right.
And lots of times they'll go, well, maybe this is a little bit out of where we need to be now. I said, this is a lifetime process.
Right.
You can keep this for a rental later, start out where you feel comfortable, and grow to where you want to go.
Right, because and of course now with everything, the real estate now is going crazy with the economy and everything.
Oof.
And I keep hearing, I'm looking for something for $500 a month. I thought,
Yeah.
well, okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, and because it's just not there, and simply because there's so much. Realtors, they have a lot of risk involved as well.
Right.
When you get into it, and so it's not an easy market.
Right.
Because of course, with the economy, people are not making as much. Everything's costing more, groceries and gas and everything. So that means they have less money to spend out.
Oh, wow. We've seen for the last, in 20 years, of course, I've seen a lot, but I've
Right.
never seen it like it is today. I've seen incomes here and house prices here, and it just keeps going that way. And so we have a lot of people. Of course, Sequatchie County is one of the most desirable areas there are right now, especially for land.
Uh-huh.
You've got people, 7 out of every 10 sales in Sequatchie County are not from this state.
Right.
They're from somewhere else.
Right.
But I want to put people at ease. Not all of them are coming in wanting to change Dunlap.
Right.
They're coming here because they love Dunlap. They
Right.
love the land and the views that they get and the quality of education they get. All those things are tied up in a tiny little bow that really make people want to live here. And you mentioned expenses. There's a lot of people coming in here buying a tract of land, and their family's going to live on that land.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to turn a farm into a subdivision.
Right.
It's going to happen every once in a while. But that was not my wife's and my intention or anyone else's in my sphere. We want to keep it looking just like it looks.
Right, and I think that's what most people want, is they want to keep it the serene area that we have. I know where I live, I sit on my porch because I'm on a dead end street.
Yeah.
And I can sit there and look at the mountains all day long, and there's a couple of people around that have cattle, and I see turkeys and everything.
Yeah.
So I just sit there and admire the beauty, and we know each other on that dead end street, so we know if there's a car come in, we go, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
That's the type of community, and I think that's what most people want around here. They want to make sure they know everybody, know who you are, and it's just a good place to be.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, we're tied in. I was telling Andy outside that works here. She's been a phenomenal source of information, and awful very kind. And I was telling her, I said, we got tied in here. I was actually running for school board in Hamilton County before we bought our land.
Yeah.
So it kind of knocked me out of that. I said, I decided to run for school board District 1, Andy. And she was like, really?
Yeah.
And we just had a great discussion out there. And I told her about one of the things I love here is the genuineness of people. The culture is different. When I'm walking door to door or whatever, people open up the door. Hey, you want to grab some coffee with me? I'm not always used to that.
Yeah.
And so that just makes us even more excited about being here.
Well, that's good, because you're wanting to be part of the community.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're not just sitting here and set up your little sign, say, "Here I am, come see me."
Right.
You're wanting to get involved with local. And speaking of being involved, you're sponsoring the concert at the rodeo.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, like we just fall into it. We went to our first rodeo ever, my wife and I, last year. And we kind of got pulled into it. I'm like, a rodeo? I don't even know if I want to like that. Man, we were hooping and hollering.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it came time for the kids to run out and take the flag off,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember. Was it a goat or what was it?
I think it was a goat.
A goat. I think it was a goat. Man, we're actually crying because we're sensitive parents and grandparents. You know, as you get older, those kids just take on a whole new world for you. And I said, man, I love this. I love this. And I was trying to think of where to put any of my financial support this year. And we wanted to do something in Dunlap. And I don't even remember how we found out about that was open for sponsorship.
Oh.
And I called my wife and I said, I'm going to call Sethra, Margie Clemmer, I think.
Yes, Margie Clemmer.
Wow, is she sharp as a tack. And she said, well, let me send you some information. I said, I want to do something, probably a gate.
Yeah.
Because it was like a little less. And I said, let's try that out and see how that does this year. And my wife's over there going, no, not a gate. Let's do something a little stronger than that. And I said, well, what you got, Margie? She said, well, we have this new talent coming in. It's the first time they've had a talent singing before the rodeo.
Right.
Well, that pumped me up because I'm a musician from the heart, and so is my family. And I said, well, who is she? So I looked her up online. She's a cover band. She does cover band, and she's incredible.
Yeah.
And she's going to rock that stage. Everybody will have a little bit of what they like on that stage. And I said, I want to sponsor that. You know, that's exactly where my heart is. And so anyways, I signed on, and we'll be there.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's always a fun time. It raises thousands of dollars for the CASA program, and it's very much needed for that. It's a needy program.
Oh, I'd never heard of it. I mean, she did a wonderful job of telling me what it covered and
Yes.
where their heart was. And once she told me that, I mean, I was on board.
Yeah, they're very busy. They advocate for all the children, and they're just super people.
Yeah. Well, your community gets behind events. That's a fact.
They do.
In fact, I didn't even know much about a chamber. And is it Janie?
Janice.
Janice caught me at a fair, and one of your parades on the street.
Yeah.
And there's tractors going by, and I just bought my first John Deere tractor. Didn't know how to use it, but I bought it. And she goes, you going to be a part of the chamber? And I said, I don't know. I'm going to think about it. And she goes, well, you're in business. You need to be a part of the chamber. And I said, I'll be down there next week.
Yeah.
I'll join. And that's where our relationship started. I mean, she loves what she does.
She does. She's really good at what she does, and she works a lot of behind the scenes work. And you mentioned the things that Dunlap does. They support. I mean, we've got the 4th of July that's coming up. Pretty soon, and we're over 10,000 people come to Dunlap just for the 4th of July parade and
Yeah.
all the events, the singers on stage and the fireworks. That's a big thing. Oktoberfest, that's going on. Valley Fest comes up in May,
Yeah.
first weekend in May. Songwriters Festival, in June. So there's just all kind of things here that they're trying to promote. And so there's a lot of good things, and people get behind it and support it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I'm sure they'll get behind you and support you as well
Yeah.
in everything you do. And you just got to get out there and people get to know you. Let me see if there was. If people wanted to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
My number is 423-421-2966. And, it's not to bash anyone, but I don't have a team. I have an administrative staff that can take over if things get really busy. But one of the things I promote heavily is when you do business with me, you do business with me. If you have a challenge, a problem, a date change, or whatever, you don't call my staff. It's a personal connection, just like anything with me. It's how I sell, and it's how God has blessed me for 20 years in this business. I do that. And we were talking about win-win. I offer pretty much one of the most aggressive commission plans ever, which is 4.5%,
Really?
which is seriously low. But I'm not here to make $1 million. I'm here to serve a community. And so it's a win. That's how I form a win-win with my clients.
Well, I've always said it's better to have a lot of a little than a little of a lot.
Absolutely. And those people stick with you forever.
Yeah.
I'm selling, clients' children now. And soon I'll sell their children's children. So that's the kind of relationship I want to build.
Well, that's super, and I'm sure you'll get along well here.
Oh, I'm loving it.
And I'm glad you're here, and glad you decided to be a part of the community, because we need good people here.
Well, thank you so much.
And we have good people here, and I don't say we run people out. That's not good. I'm not saying that, but we like to keep all the good people here.
Absolutely.
And be a part. Was there anything that we haven't talked about you want to share with us?
No, not really. I think we covered it all. I didn't want to do a sales presentation. I wanted to meet you and meet the community. And I think we've done that. I would love to give a shout out to all the school board members I got to meet last night. About a week ago, last one, all the kids were playing the recorders, and I've never been to that kind of meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, almost tearing up, watching the kids play the recorders, and I'm texting my wife, "You won't believe this. This is how it really is here." But every one of those board members came down and shook hands, and genuinely wanted to get to know me.
Good.
And that was just the icing on the cake for moving here.
Well, we do have a good school board. We have a good school system. My wife and I taught 30 years here.
Did you really?
In the system.
Yeah.
And, good superintendent, Sarai Pierce. She's good at what she does, and always striving to help the kids. That's the thing, is we're working for the kids. They're not working for praise or anything. And they get praise because they do work for the kids, and those kids pay it back in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, one thing I noticed, and of course we'll end it up here, but one thing I noticed is that they're not only compassionate about the children's success in life. I saw a strong connection between teacher and child. Not just children, but the whole school system works well if teachers and children all have a win-win, in the system, and that was just wonderful to see.
Well, they want to see them succeed, because times are different now. When you and I grew up, we could face challenges and go on, and because we were taught different, our environment was different.
Yeah.
But now the environment's totally different, and nowhere near what we grew up in.
No.
And children facing things that we had no idea was even around back then.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
And, so things have changed, and our teachers are changing with the times, trying to help the children meet the challenges, and that's what I like about them. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, they are. I agree.
And I appreciate them. Well, listen, Jeff, it is so good to meet you.
Absolutely.
Connie, and it's so good to have you today, and I appreciate you being with us and everything, so I appreciate it.
Anytime.
And folks, you can see this interview on BTC Fiber's YouTube page, as well as BTC Fiber's cable channel 18. So until next time, have a great day. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.